Welcome back to the Weekend Roundup. We are extremely excited to have our good friends at BNV Pop Pod on with us this week.
So excited.
So introduce yourselves so everyone knows your names and your voices.
Okay.
I'm Anna. I always go first because I'm older.
Clearly. Yeah, so Anna has a
What's your
higher
name?
voice. My name's Becca, sorry.
Yeah.
And I
sister.
actually have a low voice, which it comes through my head.
High
keeping
tea.
hot. Yeah, it comes high. But when I listen to us back, I'm like, wow, I need a little bit more pep in my step. I don't know.
Some people get our voices confused too.
Yeah.
And they can't tell who's talking.
That's why I like how you guys record it, because when I first started listening to your podcast, I was like, who's who? And then I started watching it, and then once I got a face to the name, I was like, perfect. And then
I feel like it's easier when you have video.
Yeah.
Yes. See, I never got you guys mixed up.
No?
No. But maybe it's because, I had a face to the name before I listened.
This is true. It happens.
Yes. I was watching all their Instagram reels.
Oh my gosh. Not the
So we
Instagram
sound
reels.
like Instagram. Brutal.
So, guys, tell us a little bit about Pop Pod. Give us an introduction. We've talked about you guys on our podcast because we've come on twice now.
Yes.
But
Yes.
introduce us to let us know what you guys are all about.
Well, we love pop culture, so we've been listening to podcasts for like 10 years.
Oh my God, I feel like more.
Some of our podcasters that we listen to now have like massive podcasts where they're like actually celebrities at this point.
Okay.
And we listened when they had like shitty sound quality and we're like once a week. Now they're like 5 days a week. And like,
Who would you listen to?
we listened to Heather McDonald,
Yes,
Juicy Scoop.
that's a current, yeah.
Yeah, she's great. Well, she was on Chelsea lately, so she was never an unknown, but her podcast is huge now. She's twice a week. We listen to Watch What Crappens, which is like a housewives podcast. They do it 5 days a week.
Okay.
We've listened to them forever to the point where we just call them the boys.
Yeah, we
I'm
just
like,
call
"Did
them
you
the
hear
boys.
boys today?
Yeah, we call them the boys.
Yeah.
Danny Pellegrino, Everything Iconic.
Okay.
It's really good. He's hilarious. He does housewives and other like pop culture stuff. Who else do we listen to?
So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey.
So Bad It's Good. SUP, which is Sexy Unique Podcast, which is about Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah.
Okay.
Laura, she's hilarious.
Laura's very
and
funny.
she was
Yeah.
very like starting from scratch. Actually had a podcast with other people, broke up with them, started her own.
She had podcast drama, which was
Before Alex
Yeah.
Cooper did it.
Exactly.
Cool.
So
Exactly.
she wrote the book White Girl's Problem.
Okay, I've seen that.
Yeah, and she
Yeah.
like started that hashtag.
Yeah,
Well, I think it was Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Where everyone
Was that
would
the
be
hashtag
like-
white girl problems?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then her and two guys co-wrote the book and like had the whole account and whatever. And then she had a podcast and it was all about Vanderpump Rules. But the other hosts started to become friends with the Vanderpump Rules people. And then they had like a moment where they invited the Vanderpump Rules people onto the podcast and they like confronted Laura about her bitchy, snarky
my
nature.
gosh.
Yeah. And so like Kristen was like going in at
Oh, of course it was Kristen.
Yeah.
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 And they were just like, why do you say mean things about us? And she's like, I'm just trying to have like fun. And
Entertaining.
yeah, and your guys'
Yeah.
life is ridiculous. And she took it really well, but then they broke up after that. But I remember at the time, you know, when you're listening to a podcast and you're like, holy shit.
Like it's
Yeah.
drama. Like,
Yeah.
this is- it's
Like,
a little
I'm
too
listening to
unscripted.
live
Yeah,
drama.
Yeah.
Yes. And they don't have a podcast, and she has her own podcast.
Yeah.
Sexy Unique Podcast. So
And it's still about Vanderpump? She's still
yeah.
following
Well, no,
Vanderpump?
now she does all kinds of different shows because she's actually like hates Vanderpump Rules right now.
Yeah, so
Fair.
just get on the fucking band.
Yeah, she's like, I hate this show, and I'm sad that it was like my life's work is down the tube. Yeah.
My life's work.
She also had a hilarious podcast that she doesn't have anymore called Babe, which is like a hilarious concept of like when you're like wondering if someone's okay, and you're like, Babe?
Like when your friend does something like really bad, we're like, babe, are
Yeah.
you okay?
So that was a funny podcast. But anyway, so we started this podcast because I'm in the fitness industry. Becca's an accountant, and we had a health and we're also like very woke. No, I'm kidding. We like love health and wellness. We were like meditating vegans, and we were doing all kinds of blogging on that like 10 years ago when we were like dying as home with newborns.
Yeah.
But then we're like, we don't like talking about this stuff anymore. Let's talk trash and trash only. So yeah, it's kind of like our escape to just talk about fun stuff. Like we love just keeping it light.
We call it like the circles, like our conversations, because we talk all the time. And I'm like, okay, we'll talk later. And we're just like, and I'm like, okay, back to that like Kim thing that I've been ruminating on.
Always circling back.
Yeah, so I'm like, let's circle back to and we were just always doing that. And it's in our everyday life. A lot of our friends aren't into pop culture. Or like,
Right.
if I want to talk about that, they're like, I thought you were smart. And I'm like, I am. I have really deep thoughts about this. And so it's like our way of escaping and then having a place.
And I'm sure, do you guys feel this way? Like sometimes I'm like, why did I start a podcast so I can just put myself on blast 24/7?
Yeah,
Every day.
every single
Every
day
day.
of my life since I woke up April 25th, 2021. Probably.
I have the same birthday as my husband.
Oh, that's
the podcast's birthday.
Oh,
Yeah.
Special day.
It is for you.
Yeah,
Your
very
two most
special.
special people.
Yeah,
Of
very.
course, of
So
course.
you guys are twins, sisters?
Sisters.
Sisters.
I'm older.
Yeah.
But
Are you
don't
saying
look,
that?
but I
'cause
look
you're-
much younger. Say it. You thought that I was the younger one.
I'm older. Yeah, she's
No,
older.
that means that's why I always start the podcast. It's like a dynamic since childhood.
Yeah.
Tell
Older
us about,
sister.
I need to tell us about your fitness.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
need to know all
I
about
own
it.
a fitness studio called The Fitness Room. So we have spin, Pilates, bar. What else do we have? Yoga, boot camps. So I was like I would say I was like a one-woman show. I would just travel all around the city teaching at all kinds of different studios. And I have so many awesome friends in the fitness industry, and I just love teaching fitness. To me, it's like art, which seems really weird, but I love music and I love movement. So I like combine the two, and it's like this like wild, fun experience. So that's how I kind of look at fitness. So I was traveling so much, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to open my own spot. I'll just pay rent, and then I won't have to go anywhere. So that's how I kind of started my own studio. It's like 5 minutes from my house.
It's very cute.
It's
very.
I wanted it to have like be kind of spa-ish because, and we do have a spin room, so we do keep it dark and have a disco ball and make it very spin because I'm all about the boutique experience. But I want like when you walk in for it to smell good and for there to be like nice Pilates mats. I don't want it to be like locker room.
Yeah.
Cute.
I know
love that.
when people are like, "Oh, your sister owns a gym," and I'm like,
It's a studio.
"Yeah, I'm like, it's not the right word
about it.
It's boutique.
It's
Don't
a
even.
boutique fitness. But yeah, so I'm going on my 3rd year anniversary there. So I'm
So
really
fun.
excited. Yeah.
Congrats.
Thanks. So this is like a total like escape from that because like I said, we had a health and wellness podcast for a while. I do a lot of like I've designed my own fitness certifications and stuff like that. So I do so much in the fitness industry that I was like, when I was talking about it after, I was like, okay, this is like work. Like I love my job, but sometimes I need to escape. So it's something totally different.
And being an expert, you can't just say things off the cuff. Like everything
everything
to be
has
properly
to be
referenced.
researched. And like I've kind of stopped caring about like all the like cliches in fitness that people actually want to hear. Like I don't really give a fuck about like macros and like following rules because I did that for so long being in the fitness industry, and then I stopped doing them and I felt better. So I was like, I'm just gonna live my life, move my body when it feels right. I don't need to hustle my ass into the ground fitness wise. I just want to be healthy, strong, happy, sweat a little bit, have a good routine going, get those endorphins flowing. And that's as complicated.
Commercial?
Yeah. And that's as
We're like sponsored.
yeah, you're like,
is the
sold.
fitness
Sign me
room.
up, guys. And that's all. Like, I don't want to talk about any other like,
all the trends and
yeah, exactly.
I love your guys' slogan, like, let's talk about other people's problems.
That's really fun.
Well, it's good because another thing through all of our self-development that we did or do is it's horrible to gossip about other people. Like that's a rule that we make where we like don't want to gossip about people in our life. But you got to get it out. So it's like that's why you need
It's
to
healthy. There's an urge. Women are natural storytellers.
Yes. I like that. Thank you.
We need to get that urge out, you know.
tell
It's
some
like how
stories.
men go to the
Yeah.
gym and lift weights and like scream or, you know, how they
Yeah.
do that. Like this is just kind of like our thing.
You need to
just
like
tell a
process
story.
things to death.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I need to do.
100%.
So this is a classic like boy versus girl. Our friend, we were at our cottage with our husband, and our friend came up and she told us, and it was like kind of a crazy situation, but she's like, another girl we know slept with my boyfriend last night. And we were like,
Wow.
oh my God. And so we went over like the scenario and everything that happened. And it was like 20 minutes later, and the husband's all like, okay, I think we can like wrap this up and
Talk about something
call it a
else.
day. And we were all like, oh, no. She's here for the weekend. And like, we're going to be talking about it all
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah.
Then we'll probably do a debrief after the weekend.
That's
Yeah.
award-winning news. Like,
Yeah.
that's a huge story.
We need a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
We were
of
like, we've
chitter
got
around
so
this.
much work to do
Yeah.
to get through
Seriously.
this.
No, you guys are fun gabbers. I
Yeah.
like
Oh
to
yeah, we like to
Seriously.
gab.
Like
yeah.
every time, we've gone on your guys' podcast twice, and we met you guys outside, and it was like from
Yeah.
the second we met outside of the building and
Never
walked
stopped
up
talking.
to when we left
Yes.
again, no one stopped talking.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pop culture. We're getting the romance updates,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
just all the check-ins.
It could have
Yeah.
been like a 7-hour podcast.
No, I know that's
No,
what I'm thinking about
it
this
actually
one.
could have.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it really
Yeah.
could be.
Yeah.
But yeah, we wanted to talk with you guys about podcasting because we get
Okay.
questions all the time
Yeah.
about people wanting to start their own podcast,
Like, how to even get into it.
how to get into it, and also too, I feel like people don't really know how much work goes into a podcast
Yeah.
and how
Yeah.
hard it is because.
Yeah.
In theory, it's really easy to get in front of a mic and talk and stuff. But when you actually start doing it, it's so much harder than it comes off. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
I always wanted to do podcasts. Well, not podcasting specifically, but do something in
Entertainment,
media. Like
yeah.
I wanted to be a YouTuber and I wanted to do
Yeah.
this and I wanted to do that. And then, so when I was doing a job that required me to do like a company podcast, I was so excited and I went in and I just completely froze. Like couldn't say anything, couldn't
Yeah.
do
I
it.
can't
'Cause
imagine that for you.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
don't seem like that would happen
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
But I went in there and completely froze. I was really shaky on the mic, really uncomfortable. So it's like, it's just really different once you actually do it. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. That's why so many famous people are like, I'm starting a podcast. And then like one episode comes out and nothing else.
It's like, I'm looking
Yeah.
at you, Harry and Meghan.
Yeah,
Where the
exactly.
fuck is that podcast?
Fakers.
I was
Seriously.
promised more Archie content.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think too, like once you find like probably now that you're like, you guys have your own topics, you're so much more passionate and easy talking about it than like someone else's company, maybe. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
No,
True.
that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
And that's like same with your guys' podcast.
Yeah.
Like it's like fun. Like
It's fun.
you guys
And when we
have
tried to
fun
do health and
yeah.
fitness, it was like, that's what I was finding. I was like, this feels like work.
It's
Like
just
I
so
have to
forced,
research
like,
because I don't
yeah.
want to like be like, who cares, guys? Let's talk about something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we're like, okay,
Because-
let's talk shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Who wants to talk about the fucking Vanderpump Rules reunion? Like,
exactly.
Well, our brother actually said that to us. He's like, because he listened to our other podcast as well as our current one, but
wellness one?
Yeah, he did, and he was like,
hated that podcast.
I know, and he said he was like, I only like the parts when you go at the end when you guys like start talking because sometimes we dabble
we
into
tried
like,
to make it
right.
like half housewife.
Housewives and fitness.
Yeah.
And he's like, I only like the part at the end when you guys just go off on random topics about like,
Tangents.
yeah. And he's like, the rest is kind of boring and weird. I was like, I know. We're just trying.
We were also
something.
trying to do it at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, we had babies, so we would wake up, and that's why we came to Mark because when we did everything ourselves, like we uploaded it, we
Yeah.
edited it, and so I was like, if we do another podcast, because we had talked about it for like ever, I was like, it needs to be out of the house. Someone else needs to do all of that because
It's a lot. It's so much work.
Yeah. And we have other businesses, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, it becomes work.
What
Yeah.
made you guys decide to stop producing yourself?
just we could not
keep up.
Keep up
We
with
couldn't
it.
keep
Yeah.
up with it.
like I also feel like too, and this is not to like toot our own horn or anything like that, but I think we just kind of gained popularity faster than we had expected.
Yeah, that's
like we're only
awesome.
just
Yeah.
coming up on 1 year, so
Yeah.
it
Yes.
happened really fast, and we didn't really know how to kind of keep up with it. And we had all these ideas, but quite literally zero budget, like could
Like
not,
zero resources. Like
Zero
we didn't even have
resources.
mics.
No.
Like we literally would just record
Yeah.
on our computer.
Yeah. And then someone that we know like messaged us and said to put us in. Well, we got bronze and best of Halifax for the coast, and then I think that's how.
Oh my
Mark
God,
and
that's
I
so
got it.
awesome.
Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Did you get one of those plaques?
We did not get a plaque.
No,
The
we
coast.
never got a plaque.
I'm waiting on you.
yeah, we want a
like,
plaque.
we would
There
like
used to
one.
be a little award ceremony, and
Yeah.
now it's
Probably
just
like
the weekend
COVID.
roundup in size 12 font in the newspaper on my Nana's fridge.
Next to
Well,
bronze
you know
and
what?
gold.
Yeah.
And gold.
That's awesome. That's so cool. I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it
I
was
think
fun.
that's probably how Mark and Jamie found us. And then,
How did you guys find? Or sorry, keep going.
well, then they just got on their hands and knees and
Yeah.
begged for us to come.
And we said,
and-
okay, fine.
Fine.
If
Yeah.
you insist.
Come,
He
come,
actually did tell us when he booked you guys. He was like, "I'm so excited."
Look at
And he was
you.
like, and he was, but he knew it. He's like, "You guys will love them. I can tell."
Yeah.
So excited. He was right.
Stop
He called
it.
that.
Yeah, he
called
did.
that.
He did.
It's a podcast match in heaven.
It
Yeah,
is,
but
it
what was
is.
like some of the first podcasts that you guys got into?
Maddie hasn't. You're not really a
I'm
podcast
not a huge
person.
podcast gal, to be honest. Like, I'll listen to I feel like I listen to more like random episodes than like full
Yes.
shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I'll listen to like some random like true crime ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'll listen to like some. There was one by one of the girls who was in the Bling Ring.
Oh yeah,
if-
Alexis.
Alexis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she has her podcast.
What's
I
her
used to listen to
podcast
that a
called
lot.
again?
I don't remember. It's something. It's like has to do with like mental wellness.
Yeah,
and, like,
I've
I love
listened.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used
And
to
she has
listen
a
to that all the
crazy
time
story.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good podcast. I
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
fell off that one, but I should
Yeah.
listen to that again. And then what else did I feel like
like
there's
that's
just
kinda
like
it.
there's like a few random ones. I listened to a lot of local ones before we started because I was like, okay, what's
that's a good
like what's the
idea.
vibe? Like I just wanna
Market
see, like,
research.
yeah, and like I feel
Yeah.
like we kind of connected with a lot of podcasters on
Totally.
Instagram
Yeah.
because of that. Because we'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Chicks in the Office podcast. It's a
I
Barstool
haven't listened to that
podcast.
one. Yeah.
And they used to do, this is my little rant. I doubt anybody else would listen, but they used to have like a Chicks account
Yeah.
way back, like when I was in like high school, and they would post funny like drunk videos of girls. And one at my 18th birthday party, basically a bunch of like cokeheads showed up, and
I love your hometown.
we were in a house that was like literally like 2 hours out of town, and a bunch of like 29-year-old cokeheads showed up.
Oh, the same ones that
And-
park outside
Yeah,
the
they were
dance.
like, the teens are here.
Don't even say the dance.
no,
People
we
listen.
can't talk about the
I can't
dance.
bring it up. That
Cut
is
it.
my biggest scandal.
That's on your show.
out. Edit it out.
And they showed up, and they ended up drinking like all of my drinks, like and all of my
So
friends' drinks, and
rude.
locking themselves in a room and doing a bunch of coke. And
Oh,
I was
rude.
like 18 and horrified.
I would be
and
too.
horrified.
Yeah.
They left their grinder, like their weed grinder, out, and me and all my friends were terrified of weed at the time. But we did try to find a lighter. That was our whole thing. Like we were like, okay, we will smoke it, but then also
we're
like,
terrified.
But like also be like,
anyone
laced.
have a lighter?
Does anybody have a lighter? We were trying to find like a barbecue lighter. Couldn't
Those
find
work.
one.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, well, what do we like do with this? We can't dump it down like the sink, but we need to do something.
Yeah, just
like,
smoke it or dump it down the sink.
yeah, we're like, we need an option. So instead, what the girls did, I won't say if I participated or not, dipped like their chips, like nachos, into the weed.
Ew.
And we're eating it.
Okay.
straight up out of the grinder.
I don't
like,
know.
First edibles.
Yeah. Anyway,
Weed
took a
salsa.
video. It was kind of like, weed salsa. It was kind of like a joke, and then someone took a video of it, and then sent it into Barstool, famous last words, and then we
Oh
got
my
put
gosh.
on their account, and so then I was like fangirling because I loved them, and then a
That's
couple weeks later they
hilarious.
started
Crazy.
their podcast, so I've been listening since like day one.
Oh
You were
my
on
gosh.
the
You were a
account.
I was on the
founding
account.
member.
Yeah,
Oh
I've
my
been on
God.
Barstool more times than I would like to admit.
I love
I also
this.
actually had Ridiculousness, you know, that TV
Yeah.
show.
This
Yeah.
is crazy.
Reach
Wasn't
out to
Pete
me.
on that show? No. Okay.
Was Pete Davidson on that
I
show?
feel like
I think he might have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will
I
die
wouldn't be
right now.
surprised.
yeah.
Awesomeness TV slid into my DMs one
Oh.
time and asked for a video of me at a party. It's basically me at a party in a like little tube top. I'm like 19 in it, and I'm talking with people, and as I'm talking with that, someone else is filming me across the room, and as I'm talking with them, I pull out a piece of bread from my bra and eat it. And Barstool posted it like back in 2019.
Oh my God, I
That's
need to see.
really
Do you have
funny.
these
I'll
videos?
try to
Yes.
find it. But yeah, they posted that.
You're
You were
iconic.
destined.
I
Yeah.
was destined
Yes.
to be a star.
Yes.
And all of the comments, if you go back and look now, it's all pig emojis from men. It's all like, it's the worst comments you've ever.
What the
it's horrible.
fuck?
But yeah, I've been like, I think maybe like 3 times or something, a video of mine went on like Barstool, which happens to everybody, but all the comments are
It
horrific.
happens to everybody.
I don't even read comment. Like I just started TikToking because I'm an elder millennial. But
TikToking?
I don't even dare read comments because I'm too embarrassed because I put my face on and I don't know how to use TikTok. And I'm like, all these filters suck. Like, is there any, you guys need to show me if there's good filters because I only know the Instagram ones because I'm elderly again. So I'm like too ashamed to read the comments because they could be like, shut up.
I just think
old
people are
granny.
mean. Like I'm too scared. But then whenever I see a nice comment, I'm like, oh, maybe I should.
It makes
No,
up
because
for
then
it.
you don't want to ignore the nice ones.
Like it's like, oh, that's so sweet. Like
Yeah.
and then it's also like, I'm being bullied.
I
I'm
know.
being cyberbullied.
I know. I don't know what to do about that. I'm kind of just like, I think you're smart if you don't read your comments, maybe.
Yeah.
Or
I
look
wish.
at them.
I wish.
I wish I could go back in time.
Look, some of the comments from the Jade and Nahas video had me in my feels, I will say.
People were being mean.
Yeah.
I did
Really?
read some of the
mean
comments.
to you
Yeah.
or mean to her?
Us, we got caught in the
Not
crossfire.
as much us though. Like to be
Yeah.
honest, like people
Got
were
a couple
pretty-
shots though,
yeah.
but it wasn't too bad. But yeah, Awesomeness TV reached out for that video, and I remember I was like, this random account slid in and said like, "Hi, my name is like whatever with Awesomeness TV," and it was a private account. And they had no followers and no posts, and they followed like 300 people. So I was like, this is a scam.
Yeah.
Didn't answer. They continued to reach out to me for like 3 months. Didn't answer. Then they start emailing me. I don't answer. Then the Awesomeness TV, like the verified account DMs, and they're like, "Hi, Lauren.
You want that
this
bread
account-
video?
Give us the bread video." And
Holy shit.
They like show up at your door. They're like,
MTV stalked me. Like,
Insane.
Yeah.
Because they had seen it on your page.
on
but they
Barstool.
needed-
But the thing is
your
this
release.
video was posted like in 2019 when I was 19, and they only reached out to me last winter
yeah,
asking for the video. So
It must be
obviously
someone's
Awesomeness
job.
TV is struggling for content. I mean, they're on for like 6 consecutive hours and
No,
from 1 a.m. to
seriously.
6 a.m.
Yeah, they needed
But
that.
They needed that.
bread.
So
Yeah.
did you get it to them?
No, I never gave it to them.
They offered.
So they
money,
offered
though.
they offered me like $250 or something like, or no, they offered me $100 for the
Yeah.
video, and I was like no. So I said no, and then they came back and they offered me $250, and they said no, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not really gaining anything from this.
Yeah.
The video's already been posted for free.
Yeah.
So I was like, honestly, I'm just gonna see what I can do. So I sent back this super
Your
serious
Amazon wish list?
Yeah.
I'm like, send me all of these.
So I
The
sent
scrubbies
back
or the smiley
this
face?
super serious email being like, you know, like, I know the worth of my content, and
I have retained
require.
counsel.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
talked with my lawyer, and I am going to require. I asked MTV to give me like $1,200 for, like $1,200.
I
for
love this negotiation.
Yeah.
You should.
And I was asking for that, and I said this whole
I'm
thing.
impressed.
Yes.
They basically responded with an all but go fuck yourself, and I haven't heard from them since.
Yeah,
but
hey,
they're
you
like,
know what? I love that
Worth
you
a
did
try.
that.
They know my
Yes.
worth now.
Yeah.
MTV, if you ever want to sign us, you can.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm like, okay, maybe take that back.
Yeah.
yeah. We'll take the $250 now, please.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So Anna, I hear
yes.
that you have also been discovered. Similar to myself, you are a hometown hottie.
God. Yeah. There used to be, okay, I used to live in Ottawa because I went to Carleton.
Did you go to Carleton too?
No.
No.
No. Actually, Anna studied mass communications,
Yeah.
which is
So I
very
actually,
similar.
yeah. I was actually into media and journalism big time.
Mm-hmm.
So actually that can kind of like coincide with like podcasting tips. Like
Yeah,
that
100%.
was like my thing. I loved media. I thought I would do like TV or radio or something like that anyway. But then while I was in university, I started working at a gym, and it just kind of like never transitioned out of it. Like I was like,
Yeah.
I love this. And I've done a lot of blogging and other forms of media along the way. When I worked for a big fitness company, I did all their TV spots for free. Now I'm like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
They'd be like, it'll be good for you to get your name out there. I'm like, really? 'Cause I'm
You're like,
already
"Is
like,
it?"
yeah, I'm like, are you sure? Never made me any money, but so anyway, I kind of, it was a transition. But when I was living in Ottawa, it was like this big thing. There was this, do you guys, I don't know, you won't remember
They're too
this,
young.
but I don't even know
Don't
if this
even ask.
magazine, don't even ask.
Even ask.
There was a magazine called Maxim that's like very, very, like there's an American version and a Canadian
No,
version.
so yeah, so the boys just reminded me. So
What was it?
FXH.
FHM Hometown Hottie.
Oh, yes.
So is that
Okay.
the name of the magazine or the section?
That was just like
They
the
would just
spot.
post like 50 heads of
Literally,
girls
now
from
that
the
I think
club.
about it, it's so sexist. The
Oh,
magazine.
website?
No, it was a it was
was
a
a
magazine.
It was
magazine.
actually
Little-
print.
Wow.
And it would just
Gather
be
around the
pictures.
fire. We'll tell you about print magazines.
We actually owned one.
Yeah, we had a magazine
No
too.
way.
Yeah. That also, when I had my bad breakup that I was telling you guys on our show, but when I
Yeah.
like smashed the iPod back to iPod days, I also
Go listen.
there were
Pop
so
Pod.
many. He in his car was like boxes and boxes of our magazine, and I was like, and I'll take my magazines back. Thank you very much.
My magazines.
My magazines.
My print magazine.
But yeah, so anyway, I don't know how it happened, but all of a sudden I was
looking
like
hot at the club.
in the
That's how it
running.
in the running.
And I was like,
Hometown hottie.
and my brother was like, ugh. He like opened up the magazine. He was like, what the actual fuck are you doing?
Did you know that it was going to go in that,
No.
or it was just random?
It was literally like, I don't even know how this is legal.
So it was just like
Yeah.
a random.
No, I think you said you did sign a release at the bar.
Oh yeah, I think when you walked into the bar, they're like, oh yeah, I signed my life away. It's like, do
You
whatever
signed like
you
such
want.
an intense
with my-
contract. You're like, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
if I
of
can be a
course. I'm like,
hometown
what did I
hottie.
just sign? Yeah. So they took pictures, but in Ottawa, I felt like it was this huge like hottie scene of, there was actually a pretty big nightclub scene for a government town, but they also had this thing where they would have like sunshine girls that were in the paper, and it would just be like girls in bikinis or in like low-rise jeans.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and it would be like
that feels like a
I'm like, this
lifetime
is
ago.
a
Yeah,
newspaper.
seriously.
Like
Yeah.
your grandparents are looking
Yeah.
at this, and you just like be like looking at like the comics or the
Yeah.
only thing I ever read. Turn-
Exposing yourself so much right now.
I'm just
in the
trying to
horoscope.
read the comics,
And I'm
all
just trying to
these
see what my horoscope is saying this month.
Exactly. You just want to see family time. And then you open a page, it's a big naked chick.
What the heck?
Double, and she was always so young. It was always like
Oh, I'm sure they were like 20 at the oldest.
an 18-year-old who was
Yeah.
like, I love playing football with my dad. I'm like, okay, well, you're naked in this picture, so this is just creepy.
You're like, this is not good.
But yeah, so that in Maxim, they had all kinds of stuff. And I remember people used to try to get like featured, and remember Faces? There was also a magazine in Halifax called Faces.
Okay, I feel like I remember that.
Yeah, it
like
might
seeing
still be
that.
around.
Yeah.
Sorry, Faces. We're not making fun.
Yeah.
And they had
And
another
it's just
one.
horrifying because they're taking pictures of people at the club and then
just
printing
printing
We
them.
actually
Yeah.
did that, Becca, in our
I know,
magazine.
we did. We did. We did.
Okay, what was the magazine?
It was
that you
called
guys had?
902.
Oh,
Yeah.
Stop it.
And it was supposed to be like, do you guys, Perez Hilton, he's
Yeah.
still
Yeah,
alive.
Yeah,
He's
somehow.
an elder
of
like
course.
me, but
He's an elder millennial as well.
he was like a first blogger of like, Lindsay Lohan, Britney Spears, and they were all acting a
Yep.
fool in the early aughts. So we were totally early aughts like freaks.
Yeah.
obsessed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
obsessed. And we almost started a blog, but we were like,
No, we
let's not
did
do
start
it.
a blog. We transitioned
one
our
day.
print magazine
Into
to
a
a blog, and then we're like, F it.
But can you imagine? Like that was right when blogs were blowing
You would've
up.
made it huge.
Yeah, that was
made it
2007.
Yeah, you would have been like the morning toast or something by now.
So, and actually, when you were asking about podcasting advice, I feel like I don't really have like our podcast now is really new, but I feel like if you want something to happen, you just have to keep doing it over and over and over again.
Consistency
That's what we
is
always say.
The key.
Yeah.
Consistency is the key. And like it can be so unmotivating at the start.
Yes.
Where when you're not getting the views that you want or the content engagement that you want, but you just have to keep going.
And also,
going.
I think the other thing is like don't stress about exactly what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, it can't be
Because-
too serious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like it will all evolve. Like
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
we first started, we delayed for so long because we were like, well, we want to, like, we were trying to figure out what to talk about. And then even when we were first beginning, we were talking about only housewives, but then we decided we didn't like housewives anymore.
Yeah.
Like I'm over it.
Yeah, but it's like you've got to like naturally find it, unless you're like your guys, and you just like are rock stars from the
Oh,
beginning.
no, I feel like we're kind of like that too. Like we
Yeah.
never really. I feel like we've tried out different things, like and saw like we would always check like analytics to see if it hit
Yeah.
or not.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a few episodes that didn't hit. Some retention rates that people dropped
like,
after like
never
5
again.
minutes. They're like,
Like,
maybe
unfollow.
not. And we're
Yeah.
like, oh, that episode
Damn.
wasn't good. But yeah, like I think that's a huge part of it. Like I think
Yeah.
it's just one of those things that evolves as it goes,
Yeah.
it goes, and you can't
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
you can't plan it to be exactly what you think it is.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
it's better if you don't.
Yeah, and it's hard like as entrepreneurs and a podcast is an entrepreneurial venture, it's hard to do something for free with no, like, that's the thing that you have to be willing to do.
Yeah.
Are you willing to work for free, but really care a lot?
Yeah.
And keep
work
going.
24/7.
Yeah.
Work 24/7. And you can't look at it like, this is wasting my time, I'm not making money. It's like, it's probably not going to make you money for a really
Very
fucking long
long
time.
time.
You have to do it because you love it, and it'll introduce you to other people. Like, it can branch out into different businesses. Like, I know you guys have a bunch of cool ideas just coming from putting yourself in a creative space where you can be yourself and be your own boss.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Empowers you to do other things. But yeah, I feel like that's why people don't really last in any entrepreneurial venture or podcasting in particular, because you're like, I mean, I was listening to a podcast the other day of big podcasters, and they were like, everybody has a podcast. And I was like, I'm not going to let this bother me.
Yeah, because it's kind of the running joke right now.
Yeah, it is.
I was like, okay, well, the celebrities like complaining about everyone having a podcast. And I was just like, it doesn't really matter. It's like, you're going to do what you want to do. It's all going to lead to things, and it's your own art. I look at everything that you're creating as like your own art.
Agreed.
It also too, like, having any kind of platform where you put yourself out, whether that be a YouTube channel or podcasting or even like, you know, influencing on social media and just putting your personal life out there, it also takes such a toll on you, like, mentally. Even I'm sure like you guys probably don't go too far into your personal lives, not as far as we would go in your podcast, but like there's a lot of burnout that comes with it too.
Yeah, 100%.
Like on reading week, I went home. This is not to like get like upset people and discourage you from having a podcast, but I went home and I was so burnt out. I probably cried for like a week because I just felt like I don't know what I want to do with this. I'm burnt out. I don't know what else to say. And it's like, I'm a dating podcast. The last fucking thing I want to do is date right now and all this stuff. So you have to kind of even work when you feel like that, because you can't take a day off. Like, I have Maddie, but like Maddie has her own shit too. She can't just fill in the stuff that I need to be doing. So it's more than just starting like a podcast with a microphone and a laptop like we started it. It's, you have to like be your own boss and start this business, and it's really tough, but it's also like the most rewarding thing in the world.
And it's like what we're passionate about too. Like, I think any like creative project, if you're passionate about it, then it's a good time. So
Exactly.
If anything,
Makes
the
it worth it.
breakdown showed that I cared. And Maddie took me out of all social media. I wasn't allowed to do any work for the podcast for a full week, but that's just what you need to do when you're your own girl boss.
Yeah.
And that happens
Exactly.
in any business. Like when
for
you're
real.
the head of the machine, it's exhausting.
Yeah,
It
because there's no
is.
one to blame it on but yourself.
Yeah.
You're like, who can I talk to HR?
you take everything so personally. Like,
So
at least
personally.
like it's like anything. Like if people don't like an episode, if people like just anything, I'm like, oh damn, like that's my personal life, and people don't like it. That sucks.
I know. Well,
But
that's like my main thing this year, and I'm 41, so like it's taken me so long, but my main goal this year is becoming more mentally resilient and like being calm. So when someone says something to me, or, you know, I work with a lot of different people, not reacting and taking a step back, and like where I might have written like a text response that's like so long and cringy, now I'm just like, okay, no problem.
Yeah.
And I'm so much happier for it, because usually the next day I'm like, fuck, I'm so glad I just wrote no problem.
Yeah. It's because you put so much energy into
burns
these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, you have to like manage your energy. I find like instead of time, like manage your energy. Like, okay, I have this much energy to put in this, or
And no, it's your baby, not their baby. It's your passion project, not their passion project. It's like no one's going to care as much as you care. No one's going to take it seriously like you do. And
Not
people
everyone's
are
gonna
not,
get
they're not
you.
going to get
Yeah.
it. Like, they're going to be like, why the hell? Like,
No,
this is a waste of your time.
people would always say stuff at the beginning of the podcast, and I'd always be like, oh, okay, thanks, but it's not really for you. Like, if like a straight guy is coming at me about the podcast, I'm like, okay, but you're not really our demographic. Like, we don't go on and like target you.
Not
like, if
asking
it
your
was
advice.
like if it was like an 18-year-old like female university student who's like, hey, like, I think you guys should work on this. Like, I'd be like, yeah, that's totally valid. Like,
And we
but-
have. People
yeah,
have
we
said
have,
that.
But it's
Yeah.
like, I don't really want to take advice from people who are just trying to
Shit on us.
Shit on it.
not
yeah.
your audience.
Not
And-
yeah. If you're not my
yeah.
audience, I'll take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
I guess because some people have good ideas, but
It's kind of weird how like some businesses, because we've had people be like, "Well, are you going to make money off that?" And I'm like, "That's none of your business."
people
like,
ask
I
us
don't
all
know.
the time how much we make from the podcast.
But it's weird because like no one ever says that to
No.
me about my other business.
No.
They're not
Yeah.
like, "Do you make money?" They just
Yeah.
don't even ask.
No, it's so
it's
weird.
weird that like there's something about like the entertainment where people are
I think people
automatically
assume you're making money if you're your own boss. They're just
No,
like,
100%.
oh, entrepreneur is like bling bling driving my Mercedes down the road. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm a little far off from
Yeah.
the Mercedes.
like I'm on a moped.
I'm a few ad reels into that.
Yeah.
Away from that.
yeah. Do you guys have any ideas on like monetizing your podcast? Like speaking more like business chat, like because that's where we're really like falling short, because for us it really is a passion project. For our other businesses, obviously, like they need to make money
Yeah.
because they cost a lot of money, like my other business. So, but with this one, I'm like, okay, I eventually need to like be more business savvy in it. Do you guys have any advice?
We're like,
Or
okay, well,
secret.
off the top of my head,
Yeah.
I think it would be cool to do something like, kind of like merch. Like we had merch for a while, and it
Yeah.
did like okay, but
I could see you guys having cute merch.
yeah,
Yeah.
We kind of struggled with it. Like
I
the
like a
season,
shirt like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's
season
a
one,
vibe.
the season one merch was again a shortage of resources. Our friend Maddie
Yeah.
designed them, and they were really cute, and they
were
really
really
matched like
good.
the season one vibe and
Yeah.
everything. But we just struggled. We had to do it through Redbubble, and in order to make the hoodies affordable, we made no money.
we
on
literally
them.
made like
I know.
16
we made them
Same.
completely free.
Like,
Yeah.
And we're
So,
like, okay,
That's
Yeah.
like my merch that I made with my studio. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm right now designing more merch, but I'm being very careful about it. And people will be like, you should do like this Lulu shirt. I'm like, do you want to pay like $200
Yeah,
for
I know.
that shirt? Because it's going to be, I'm going to need
And
to
that's the
charge
thing.
double.
Yeah, like no one's gonna buy it then. And I'm like, oh, okay,
Exactly. But you
great.
don't want it to be shit quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
If we do
It's
merch
tough.
again, which I really want to do, and I have a lot of like plans for it, I think it just needs to be in house, or at least find.
yeah, I have a
something that's
local company that I
negotiable.
use that I can show you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give us the
Nice,
hookups.
yeah.
Give us the hookups.
No, but also I feel like it would be cool to do something like kind of like merch, but not really like I know Emma Chamberlain has like Chamberlain coffee. So I think like
Yes.
doing something like that, like a business that's kind of associated with us, but not
Yeah.
Yeah.
actually. I think that's always a good.
definitely how we wanted to grow, like eventually
Yeah.
grow into different business, avenues as,
Yeah.
Ventures.
as we grow.
Yeah, I think that's like with not to bring it back to the Kardashians. Everything comes back to the
No worries,
Kardashians.
we're okay with that.
But like, I feel like their show, like people are like, they're famous for nothing. Like, I'm like, their show is an advertisement for their millions of
Absolutely.
companies that make a shit ton of money.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like Good Americans, I haven't bought it, but it looks like a pretty good, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like as far as like sales go, like I could see them selling a shit ton of Good American
No,
clothing. It's very
100%.
like
Have you guys
inclusive
bought it
size
before?
wise.
No,
I haven't.
I've
I've,
looked at a
I've
few
almost like I've
things.
had
I
it in
know.
my cart. Same with Skims. I'm
I was
like,
right about to say
Yeah.
Skims. My cart for Skims
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
full. I've never clicked
yeah,
buy.
I feel like
I know neither have I.
I think it's probably a pretty good product. Like I know
My friends have. A few of my friends have, and they've given it a good review.
Good American
Okay.
or Skims.
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 Yeah.
I think I just need to do it. Like I think I just
Yeah.
need to bite
Yeah,
the
I heard
bullet.
it's good. I've heard it's
and
good.
I like
yeah.
how they make products for people with boobs. or
Yeah, I feel
bums.
seen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because some stuff I'm just like, okay, well that just looks good on,
if you have
Haley.
fake boobs or no boobs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I'm like, I need some lifting. But in what other business? Like, I mean, Kylie, I don't really.
Well,
she's not-
Kylie's proven that she's not a
I don't
business.
really
Kylie's
It was a
like
one-hit
her
wonder.
vibe, and I feel like you could probably get a rash from her makeup. But so no Kylie, but
No, her
818
bathing
is
suits
doing
are
really
bad.
good.
yeah,
818.
When is 818 coming to Canada?
I wanna try it.
Me too.
I love
Tried it
tequila.
so bad.
Yeah, I love
yeah.
tequila.
So I feel like it's like people. I mean, obviously they're just gonna hate, and they came from a privileged position to begin with, but I think it's like. Your podcast or your businesses, it's going to branch off into other things. So if you can see the bigger picture of what you're trying to, are you going to be the next Howard Stern? Who knows? But like, is that even your goal?
Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like there's also just so many opportunities. It's like to narrow it down to just one
Yeah.
would be
Yeah.
so like
Yeah,
not
especially
business
these
savvy.
days.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
the funnest thing about
exactly.
being an entrepreneur is that you don't have a full-time job, so you can do different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because we are entrepreneurs, we could start a
Yeah.
podcast because we can just bake in the time and figure out when we
Yeah.
can do it. And like, that's the funnest part of being an entrepreneur is you can do some businesses that
Yeah.
aren't super profitable and then make sure you have some that are.
Yeah.
That bring in
Yeah,
money.
and they always like, I love thinking of new ideas. Like I love creating new ideas and creating new products. And I get so excited. Like I've created 2 products this year, 2 different trainings, and they've gone so fucking well that I'm just so excited that like I just kept getting creative and did the
Yeah.
work. Like, did I have to sit down upon hour of writing these manuals and getting
Yeah.
people to edit them? And did I spend money to, for printing and all that stuff? It's like, yeah, but it's so worth it. Because now it's a whole other business that I have.
You got to think long term because, like, those 2 projects, for example, were her creating something in the present moment for $0.
Yeah.
with the hope that then it just goes over and
Turns
over.
into something.
Yeah, because now she's got the manuals, and then it just plug and play, and it will just pay off in the long run. But you have to be focused on like working now for no money for later pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like everything that we're doing now is just building credibility and building, that foundation to then become a profitable business. You know.
Yeah.
So-
We're in
And
the
build your
survival
confidence.
phase. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The confidence thing is huge too, because
Yeah.
I feel like if we hadn't had any like proof of concept with the podcast, then it would be like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
maybe we shouldn't just jump into something. Like,
Yeah, I feel like you guys, by the time you're my age, you're going to be like badass motherfucking bitches.
Yeah,
Not that
sure hope.
can I swear on this podcast?
yeah,
Is
yeah.
this-
You've already dropped like
13-year-old
20 F-bombs.
Yeah, you're like, our market's actually 13-year-olds that just want to learn how to podcast.
Yeah.
But I think that like,
Do you guys come up on the age thing? Like, do you guys ever get age shamed? Like,
I don't know.
That's the thing. I kind of forget though how young I am. Like 21
same.
is really fucking young.
it's super
you
young. Yeah.
are mature because when I was
Yeah.
21, I was not.
Well,
We're not all the time.
I was going to
Okay,
say
good.
don't
Thank
get
you.
hung up on the age thing because we were kind of the same thing. Like when we started our magazine, I was 21. And I would get kind of self-conscious because I'm like, I'm scared to tell people I own this business because they're going to be
Yeah.
like, you're a 21-year-old kid. What the
No,
hell
yeah,
do you
that's
know?
the thing.
But now being older and seeing you guys, I don't think that at all.
Oh, thank you.
you.
Yeah.
That's nice to hear. That's nice
So
to
like
hear.
lose that, like I don't think other people are thinking that. I think that's
Yeah.
just a younger
Because
person's
we were like
mentality.
knocking on doors, getting ads for our magazine, and we were selling them. Like we had Mills Brothers,
Okay.
we had Duggars in our
Nice.
magazine. Like that's
Really impressive.
Yeah,
Like,
we were
that's
getting
crazy.
like, I remember, I think it's actually just, what makes me so happy is I know the people buying the ads were just like, these are 2 young entrepreneurs and we're just going to support them because it's not that expensive. And they're coming in here and asking us literally for $100. But we at the time were like, oh my God.
This is huge.
Yeah, they said we got the account. We're like, that is so.
I know, we're so lame.
Stop.
Yeah,
I
like-
love it.
yeah.
No, that's literally me and Lauren though. Like
we take everything
so
serious.
Yeah.
Like
serious.
So serious.
Well, and the good thing about
though.
the
Yeah.
podcast industry is it's such low expense.
Yeah.
Like the problem with the publishing industry, which we learned very quickly, is a print run is
expensive.
hella expensive.
Yeah, smallest print run was like $10,000, and that's the smallest, and that was like 10 years ago, and that was nothing. That was like peanuts.
Yeah.
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 But we did get remember one time we got, what was that magazine shop? It's still there.
Oh, Atlantic on Queen Street.
Yeah.
The whole window is all of our magazine.
Yeah.
That
Oh my
is
God.
so
Yeah, they
nice.
like featured us again just because I think like
We
the
asked
way
wanted
them.
to
They just felt
support,
bad for
yeah.
us.
Yeah, and I think you should really use that because, like, for
No,
some reason, when
seriously.
people are younger, they're just like, "Wow!" They're like,
It's like
Impressed.
impressive.
exactly, and it's like that. We didn't really play that up, but I look back and I'm like, so many things I think were probably a lot because they were like, you know what, these 2 young girls are out there
Yeah.
trying to make something happen, and we
It
want
was
to
really
support
fun.
that. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. It was really fun.
Entrepreneurship's great because it's just like never-ending creativity.
Yeah, we're like,
you
do
just
it, guys.
ebb
Yeah.
and flow and into new things. And,
I never
yeah.
saw myself as an entrepreneur at all. And then we went on the Elevate podcast, which is like a local
Yeah.
business
Yes.
podcast here. And they're like, we're here and, 2
these
young entrepreneurs. And I
You're
was
like,
like, what the fuck?
Thank
Don't
you.
call me that. Like,
Yeah.
that's not true. But
That's a dirty word.
then
Yeah.
when I started to think about it, I was like, I guess, yeah, maybe I kind of am a little
Yeah,
bit.
it adds up.
In a sense, yeah. Thanks so much for watching this episode of the Weekend Roundup. Be sure to like, subscribe, and press the bell button. Talk soon.